Let's talk about then the events of the last, I guess, 9 months now. I mean, what do you see as some of the key points of ways we could have prevented or decisions that maybe we can learn from? Because from what I understand of your research, this is something that we should be expecting to happen in some way, shape, or form annually from here out, like hurricanes. So what do you see as some of the things? I mean, I know there was a pivotal decision to allow people to go home for Chinese New Year in December, obviously shutting down airline traffic or not at certain points. What do you see as some of the big benchmarks of this whole crisis?
Well, first off, the big benchmark, it was, I think, underscored by countries like Vietnam and Thailand, which showed that you could control it. These are two countries that are right up against, China. I mean, Thailand is one country removed, but the point is, they are immediately vulnerable, well before anyone else, to these events. And to this day, this very same virus that we're dealing with, they dealt with also. And Vietnam and Thailand together, total population represents half the population in the United States, half of the population in the EU. And they don't have half the mortality that the EU has and half the mortality that the United States have. There's a total number of 58 people who have died in Vietnam and Thailand. And all of those, in fact, are in Thailand. No deaths in Vietnam. There's something they did that showed that this virus was very containable, very controllable, and without destroying their society. And we need to be really clear about that. These are not the most technologically advanced, right? They're not the ones that you would think of as, the leaders in being able to control an event like this. You would think North America and the United States and Europe would have been. The fact of the matter is, Europe and the United States responded equally bad in the beginning, profoundly misread the events playing themselves out in Asia in ways that the Vietnamese and Thais did not. They heard the same messaging coming out of China at the beginning of the new year. They understood that the vulnerabilities about a novel infectious disease, and they took action immediately. They began controlling population movement from China into their countries. And they did the simple stuff that we still have trouble doing: getting people to wear masks, diagnostics, and contact tracing. They did it early, effectively, and sustainably. And you've not seen sustained community-based transmission of this virus in those countries. That's a wildly different situation than what we see in North America, the United States, and Europe. So
Not a single death in Vietnam? That sounds suspicious, doesn't it?
No, because there are some really good research facilities there that are working in Ho Chi Minh and Hanoi, and they are very clear. They're doing very good case management, trying to identify, and they're not finding any. Now, the numbers themselves aren't perfect numbers, but what you are seeing very clearly is that Vietnam and Thailand are places where sustained community transmission never really took root.